Don't fuck up. Don't fuck yourself. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Rude Cooking School podcast. I'm your host, John Hauser III. And as opposed to last week, I don't have a child with me, but I have a person who's the size of a child. Her name is...
Hi, everybody. Jeni Peck here again.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, good. How are you?
Good. Crosby and Leanna were on the podcast last week, and Crosby actually said the don't fuck up, don't fuck yourself part. And nice. I let him say the thing. He was like before we started, he's like, can I say it? Can I say it? I'm like, no, you can't say it. So then, he comes on, he's like, don't mess up. Don't fart. Don't. And I was like, just say it. And then he said it, and he was all excited and shit. And I was like,
"Aw, he got his one pass."
Yeah, well, yeah, he doesn't cuss that much, so he still asks, "Dad, can I say something?" Yeah, sure.
He's such a good kid.
He's really, yeah.
Oh my goodness!
So how you been? Let's just jump into the topic. Actually,
right.
Before that, I have a question for you because just a preamble. Have you ever heard of blonde coffee?
No, not at all.
Like golden roast?
Is it like just not roasted as long?
So,
or lower temp?
I was somewhere yesterday and someone had made coffee or something and it was lingering and it smelled really, really, really good, which is unusual because most of the time I don't really enjoy the smell of I like the smell of coffee. I don't like the taste of it. But for some reason, this smelled really just toasted and not roasted. So it got me wondering. I was like, that has to be a thing. And it is. Yeah. It's called like golden roast or like, and I was wondering if you'd ever had it. I guess not.
No. Did you try it?
No, you got to order it. So I don't even know where to get it. I was only looking into it for like 20 minutes, but like, there's like a place called Golden Roast Coffee Company. And, it's hard to, track down the vernacular to find out exactly what it was called. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And by the time I figured out what it was really called, it was like time to go do something. And so I didn't really have a lot of time.
We need to find ourselves a coffee aficionado. Aficionado?
Aficionado.
Aficionado. Add it to the list.
Aficionado?
Probably.
It sounds like a dude from Spain. Hello, my name is Aficionado. Yeah, it sounds like something I might like. Like Leanna loves like fucking French roast, like black, burnt up, black ass coffee.
Yeah. No, that just tears my stomach up. I wonder if the acidity level is lower. Oh, yeah. Because coffee's like shockingly acidic.
Yeah. The acidity is lower. The caffeine, I think, actually is higher. Because, it hasn't been burned away.
Yeah. Just cold brew has higher caffeine than
right, because the heat hasn't destroyed it, right? So it's like doubly, like it. From what I was reading, it's roasted longer, but at a lower temperature.
Oh, so it's like it's the low and slow,
right? So but it's not. The beans are like golden; they're not coffee color.
Yeah.
It was interesting. It's something to think about. So I'll have to look into it more. I was just wondering if you ever heard or partaken or whatever. So
no, now I'm gonna have to keep an eye out for it.
I know, right?
Yeah,
I've never seen it anywhere.
Yeah, I'm not a big coffee nerd. Like I need to put like sugar and cream in my coffee.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even drink coffee. So yeah.
Yeah. Like part of that is because of like the acidity of it, but also like, I don't think I like the flavor of coffee that much. I just kind of like I like having that morning routine of like doing it.
I drank so much of it in college that it broke my brain somehow. And literally since I've been out of college, I don't drink it anymore. I drink tea. I started drinking tea my second senior year of college, and I never went back. And there, like when I was a kid, my grandmother would give me tea with like sugar and cream, and that's like a real big comfort thing for me.
Ooh, like the English style.
Right.
Tea.
So like during the week, every day I'll drink like 3 to 4 cups of tea during work.
Oh.
And it's just black tea or black tea with a bag of mint. So it's like mint and regular.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then on the weekends, I do honey and milk.
Oh, nice.
Or do like, have you ever had a London Fog?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's like,
it's very good.
Yeah. So it's, what is it? The bergamot one.
I don't. Earl Grey?
Yeah, Earl Grey. Sorry. Yeah. Why my brain's not working. So it's Earl Grey and then vanilla tea together. You like one
and
bag
cream.
of each, and then you can float cream. I just put milk in it, milk and honey.
Yeah.
I'm not fucking around with the fancy stuff. I don't need like we have a foamer and all that shit. I'm like, just get in my my tea. It's fine.
I got one of those Nespresso foamers. It's pretty nice. It's easy, but it's annoying to clean out.
A Nespresso foamer?
Yeah, they have their own, like on the side, like you put it looks like a coffee grinder, like a plug-in coffee grinder, but you pour your milk into it, put the lid on, and just turn it on.
We got one of those. It's got like a little whisk inside that.
Yeah, and it heats it, like lightly heats it so it foams up. It's pretty good.
Yeah, we got one of those too, and Leanna used it for her whatever coffee she was drinking at the time, and then she started doing London Fogs, and that's kind of what got me onto them.
Yeah,
but I just don't use that thing because it is kind of a pain in the butt to clean out.
Yeah,
because you get all that like cooked milk stuff at the bottom,
Yeah, milk foam,
schmutz.
Dried milk foam is gross.
Anyway.
Yes.
How do we get there? So you drink a bunch of coffee and get hopped up, and then you want to have sex with people for Valentine's Day? I don't know.
I'm like, where are you going with this?
Like, you're like, that's weird. No,
that was literally the worst segue we have ever done.
My hands are literal made out of ham now. My fists are made out of ham. Yeah, Valentine's Day. We had done an episode previously years ago. And I don't know how succinct I was, and it was probably a little overbearing, but I wanted to talk with you about it. Just to see what your thoughts are on Valentine's Day, and or if you celebrate, or do you cook, do you go out? I know you probably don't go out on Valentine's Day. But
no, it's literally the worst. As a restaurant, as a waiter, it literally is the worst day to work. Is
it the worst or the second worst?
Oof, that's tough.
That or Mom's Day?
Ooh, Mom's Day. Well, Mom's Day is usually brunch, which just brunch in general is a hellscape. So, like, the one day would be Valentine's Day.
Is brunch so bad because everybody's drunk?
No, not necessarily. Because brunch can involve a lot of people who don't regularly go out to eat sometimes. So their expectations and restaurant etiquette isn't very good.
I'll never understand people without restaurants.
And yes, people do get drunk, and that's also annoying. And also, it's usually, if you're in a good place, it's busy. Like, it's crazy busy. People are grumpy until they get their booze. And the tips aren't as great because, people are only going to spend so much on breakfast.
Well, they spent all their money the night before.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Valentine's Day, why is it so bad?
Well, it's
probably
it's
for the
all
same
two
reasons.
tops, which is friggin' annoying. Like, that's annoying. It's very busy. It's stacked on top of each other. A lot of times, like, as a waiter, you're getting double, triple, quadruple seated. you witness a lot of awkward dates. People surprisingly fucking go out on first dates on Valentine's Day. I've noticed.
Ridiculous.
That is like psychotic.
That's insane. Yeah.
That if someone asks you to go out on a first date on Valentine's Day, that is a red flag, and I don't know why, but it just is.
Yeah, it's really weird. Like the expectations are so amped up for that, but it also runs into the thing. There's a lot of people that go out on Valentine's Day that don't normally go out, so you get a lot of people who aren't used to restaurants, and again, elevated expectations on a day when you're not going to get the best treatment.
Yeah. It's definitely it's fast paced, you know, a lot. And this doesn't go for all restaurants. There are restaurants that are like, you can tell are like appropriate for Valentine's Day. So they're going to get swamped.
Sure.
They literally will have a special Valentine's Day menu, not run their regular menu. So you're getting a very different experience. And also the menu is usually set up to be able to accommodate a bunch of fucking two tops. Which when it comes to like the way a kitchen is run is a little different than your typical, just regular dinner restaurant. But if it's a restaurant that's not typically like a romantic type place, it's not as bad, of course. But yeah,
also,
so like a lot of times the menu's not that good.
I was about to say a prefix menu is normally stacked so the kitchen can get that shit out quickly. You know, so it's like, you know, there's always like a fillet, there's like a piece of fish.
Yeah.
You know, it's always like something that can just be fucking popped and done. There's not a lot of accoutrement. There's not a lot of, you know, sauces.
Yeah. And it's very like Western too. It's very coursed. There's an appetizer / salad. There's a meat and veg type of entree and like a classic dessert. So I know, right? Like we don't eat like that. Like I need options.
I never eat, like I love salad and I eat salad a lot at home. I never get a salad when I go out.
Yeah, who wants to pay almost $20 for a salad when, you know, it's so much easier to make it at home. Granted, I've had some salads that are worth it. Like if you go to a place and they have just this beautiful lettuce that's obviously like locally grown, that shit's expensive. Like if you get good, you know, locally grown vegetables and greens from a really nice place, it's worth it. That shit's like, it tastes different from your regular grocery store lettuce that like goes bad in 2 days in your veg cabinet.
Yeah.
But yeah, the menu isn't always like it's. I have the same feeling for restaurant week. There are very few restaurants that actually have a good menu for restaurant week. So I never go out for restaurant week.
It's the same thing. It's made to be turned over. It's made to fit in as many people as possible. All the cheapskates come out. They've barely tip. You know, I get that restaurants try to. It's a reason for restaurants to promote themselves, but a lot of restaurants shoot themselves in the foot because they put forth an inferior product that week.
Yeah. And they definitely, granted, running restaurants, the margins are very tight. So you don't want to be giving food away.
Right.
But at the same time, it's usually like, you know, 3 courses for $45. It's like, they're not giving you fucking lobster. They're not giving you a ribeye. And it's usually something ingredient wise that's pretty basic, and it's like sometimes that's not a great representation of what a restaurant can do. I mean, that is coming from someone who is incredibly decadent, and I like to stuff my face with all the things.
And the other problem with a lot of it is people are trying to maximize their money, so they always order the decadent thing or the, you know, thing they're thinking they'll get the most bang for their buck, instead of like trying to find the thing that they'll enjoy the most. You know, it's always a crapshoot going out on those nights. But people don't realize that because they don't think of it that way. They're just like, oh, we're going out for dinner, like, and then get mad when they're, you know, being politely like, here's your check, you know, like we need you to leave to turn over the table.
Yeah. Yeah, and then people get mad and be like, I can stay here as long as you want. It's like, how do you think a restaurant works serving hundreds of people in one night? You don't think that there's a little planning involved? Like,
yeah, this
people
isn't
are so
fucking Central
clueless.
Perk. You can't just hang out,
Yeah.
with your friends.
Was that a
bullshitting.
Friends reference?
Yeah, it was. I was trying to figure out. I was trying to think of like a restaurant that people hung out at, and the only thing that came up in my brain was a show that I really kind of don't like. That much.
But yeah, like going back to like Valentine's Day, going out to eat for Valentine's Day feels like so forced.
Yeah, it's
like,
rookie shit.
It's not intimate. Like it's not. It feels very like it's nothing against Disneyland, but it's like the Disneyland of romance, a nice romantic dinner. It's like what do you call it? It's like play acting. It's it doesn't really feel genuine. I mean, that's because Valentine's Day was literally just invented by who knows.
We'll find out later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I've never been one to go out on Valentine's Day. I don't think I ever have. Even when I was a teenager, I just stayed in and made food, even when it was terrible. I remember making dinner one time in college for a girlfriend, and we had this like honey and ginger glazed salmon. And the idea of it was really good, but then the sauce was really heavy, and it was just really sweet.
You fucked it up.
We fucked it up. We cooked it together, and to be honest, she made the syrup and stuff. So, but like, I cooked a nice piece of salmon. Thank you. But no,
way to throw her under the bus.
Together, we screwed it up, like our relationship, and then. Yeah, it wasn't great, but it was memorable. It was like you're young, you got candles, you're eating kind of in the dark because you're like, oh, we got to have candles, right?
Yeah.
But it was memorable because you're like, oh, this is really something, right? Like we're doing a thing together, which we didn't do a lot in college, which was like make a meal together. Because normally it was like, you just grab something to go or, So like that kind of shit is memorable instead of like, oh, let's go to a shitty restaurant in college or even like later. Like, I don't like Leanne and I've never gone. I mean, we've never gone out for Valentine's Day. We might go out a couple days later. We used to do that.
That's what I was going to say. Like, I don't think, that's cool if you want to celebrate Valentine's Day. It's nice to have a little reminder, especially if you've been in a relationship a long time and you need a reminder like, hey, we haven't had a nice date together and not something where we were going out just to feed ourselves. Like, let's reconnect or something like that. Right. Just don't do it on Valentine's Day because your experience is not going to be good. Like,
and if you don't want to cook on Valentine's Day, to go a couple days later or a couple days early, that's perfectly fine.
Especially when it's on a weekday. Who wants to go? I don't know. I feel like it is impossible to have a romantic dinner on a fucking Tuesday evening.
Oh, I disagree. Like if you go out on like a random Wednesday or whatever, like, you're still getting the staff in the beginning of the week. They're not burnt out yet. They haven't had Thursday and Friday to party. And if you're like, oh yeah, this is our Valentine's Day. And they're like, oh really? I'm like, yeah, I'll go out there and that bullshit. Then they're like, oh, okay. And then they're kind of nice, like it's always been kind of a really good experience and everybody's really sweet about it. And have gotten thank yous before where they're like, well, thank you for not coming out on Valentine's Day because it's fucking horrible to have another couple. I've remembered a couple of those or you get like, oh, are you in the business? You're like, no, I just know what it's like and I'm not going to fuck with it. So, but Valentine's what do you do for Valentine's Day? Do you even celebrate it?
We used to, like, we've been together for like 25 years. It's just not a thing for us. It's just another
you need
day.
A 20th year Valentine's Day dinner.
We might. I mean, but we do like consciously try to have date nights.
Totally.
Like, and it's not about like, hey, no talk about like mundane, like, oh, we need to get a new fridge or like dumb shit like that. We actually connect and go somewhere really nice that we don't, it's an excuse to go somewhere that's a little nicer than that we usually go to. So I feel like, hey guys, every day is Valentine's Day when you're in love.
Fuck you. Fucking, you just pulled that out, you fucking bastard.
You weren't expecting that, were you?
No, I was not. I love it though. I mean, that's how it should be, right? But
Yeah.
it never is. And connecting with the person that you're with is really important. And making time to make time is important.
Yeah. I like the idea of cooking together though.
Yeah.
If you are compatible, because it's not necessarily helpful when one person cannot fucking chop an onion without you wanting to scratch your eyes out.
I'm to the point where Leanna could hack if I asked her to cut an onion up, and she knows how to do it, but even if she didn't, I'd just be like, you know what? I'm not doing it. It's fine.
It physically pains me watching people who don't have knife skills.
Oh yeah, I mean that's different. I mean, and Leanna's knife skills. She knows how to cook, so it's
Yeah, I mean, I know that's all me. It's not everyone. Has knife skills. It's totally fine, but like it does. I can't watch it.
I can't watch a lot of cooking shows because people don't know how to have knife skills on cooking shows. Like, how do you have a cooking show you don't know how to fucking cut things up?
Yeah,
it just looks like they're gonna chop their fingers off. That's the problem.
Yeah, or you can tell they have a dull knife.
Yeah,
that's yeah.
It's like the equivalent of watching someone go really close to the edge of a roof. You know how I would get when we would go up on your roof and people would get to, I'm like, can you just come back? Can you just not?
Oh, same. Me too. Because I'm also afraid of heights. So you get that anxiety.
But you're watching, can you just stop? Can you just put the knife down? You're going to chop
it's a disaster waiting to happen. I always notice like people who have very poor knife skills are the ones that like are so chaotic with it. Like they use zero like caution. They're just hacking away. And it's like, if you're not as good with this skill, you think you do it slowly. Like, and like when I've taught people knife skills, I'm like, and they try to like speed through it. I'm like, the speed comes from practice and learning the skill and technique. You can go as slow as possible, but if the technique is right, the speed will come, but you have to keep doing it. Like, yeah.
The problem is people see people on TV go fast, so they think they need to go fast. So they think they know they want to look like they know what they're doing, even though they don't. So they just go fast with their IKEA knives or whatever the fuck.
Yeah. It's like people who like go to the gym and always get hurt themselves because they don't learn proper technique, and then they go hard not using the proper technique, and then they hurt themselves, and it's like lifting really heavy weights and if you have really heavy weights without the proper technique, you're gonna fuck yourself up. Like, but anyway, learn knife skills, dude.
How you going from the gym back to Valentine's Day? I was waiting to see it. Were you gonna say you go to the gym and you get horny and then it's like Valentine's Day?
Everything makes you horny.
Oh God.
Learn some knife skills, guys. Yeah. Two incompatible cooking people can also be a nightmare, I have to say.
But two incompatible cooking people can get through, and it could make for a good date night too. Like,
yes, as long as everyone's chill.
Right. If you're not,
which is not
as
me.
long as you're not a psychopath and yelling at everybody like me. Get out of my kitchen. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Why are you behind me? Get away.
Yeah. Someone's like, oh, can I help? I'm like, yeah, get the fuck out of my way.
That's what I say, yeah. Can I help? Yeah, get the fuck out and grab a drink. Grab a drink, get the fuck out. You're good. But I will say, Leanne and I do cook a fair amount. Normally it's just me, and I just let her chill, and then I just relax and listen to music. But, on like Valentine's thing, it's always nice, or, a lot of Fridays or Saturday nights if I'm cooking. Saturday night in particular, she'll come in, we'll just listen to music, she'll make the salad. She'll just stay on the other side of the island away from me on her side. And that's great because I don't have to turn around and, I don't have to be like hot, before I turn around. So it's like, cooking together is really fun because you just get to talk and bullshit. And, it's just another way to connect. And the other thing is like, you always cooking together, and especially if you're making something new or you're trying something. Like for Valentine's Day, I always try to make something fun. Mm-hmm. Even if you fuck it up. Like, you're not going to have fucking, I don't know. You're not going to have like, fucking pigs in a blanket. Although that would be really funny for the sexual euphemism.
I would love you forever if you gave me pigs in a blanket.
I'm making them on Sunday. That's why pigs in a blanket are in my head.
Yes. And I'm making Valentine's Day?
No, for the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
I was going to make them last night, and then I was like, Super Bowl's coming up. I'll just make a whole fucking mess up. We're not having anybody over. It's just going to be for me, Leanne, and Crosby. But I think I'm going to make them from scratch and make like a good
You're going to make the pastry?
Yeah.
The homemade? Damn.
I did that.
Nice.
I did that last time. Like, I did it last year. Made, instead of just doing the biscuit thing, like I just, because I can't stand the taste of that shit anymore. Like it's got that weird, like
the Pillsbury.
Yeah.
The
flavor of the fat's so weird and plasticine.
Yeah. Is it Trader Joe's or it might be like a Whole Foods, but they have like
Are you
their
sure
own
it's
branded
not Costco?
Ones. I wish it was. I'd buy the shit out of it. But someone makes like their own branded version. We're talking about, guys, like the croissant rolls in the Pillsbury.
The thing that everyone's afraid of to open now.
Yeah, that pop open that has like lard in it or something. But there's a different brand that has a little bit more natural ingredients, and those do taste better. So if you don't want to mess with dough, it's a pretty
I'm sure if you look up like America's Test Kitchen,
best.
Like what is it? What would it be like? Instant rolls or whatever the fuck? Like
instant croissant rolls.
Yeah. Well, okay. So do you like croissant stuff around your?
Yes.
You do. You like croissant?
Do. Yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
I've always done it with the croissant. What do you use? The biscuit one?
I just like rolls. Like
okay, like breading. Yeah.
Yeah. Like or pretzel stuff.
Oh yeah. Lila has done her homemade soft pretzels with hot dog in there, pigs in a blanket. But I like the croissant rolls. Maybe it's like a from my childhood thing.
You're
like
just fancy.
Yeah.
I do like the sound of that. I don't think I've ever had croissant.
Yeah, because it's like flaky. It's a little more buttery.
Pigs in layered blankets.
And it's nice because it's already like cut into or perforated into triangles, and you cut the triangles in half, and those halves are the perfect size and shape to roll up your pigs in.
Oh, okay.
And it even has like its triangle, so it has a little tag.
So hold on, are you talking like little mini guys, or are you talking big guys?
Oh, I do minis.
Oh, see, I do bigs. I do full hot dogs.
Oh, no, I get the ones that I look out for. The Little Smokies. What is it?
My favorite rapper,
Hebrew Nationals.
Little Smoky.
Yeah, Hebrew Nationals, Little Smokies. Those are my favorite. And then you just roll them up.
Yeah.
I feel like pigs in a blanket has to be the little bite-sized ones.
See, I grew up with full-size hot dog pigs in a blanket.
Oh, okay.
So I have had the minis with croissant stuff. I haven't had full-blown, hogs in a fucking duvet. I don't know. With croissant dough.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Go for it.
But I like a big honking fucking pig in a blanket.
I like bite-sized stuff. It is dangerous, though, because you don't realize how much you're eating because you're just, like, popping them in your mouth.
They're dangerous, too, because you're just how many of those have you eaten? Like 35?
I don't know.
It's like
Bite
the
size,
equivalent of
yeah.
like a whole pack of hot dogs.
Yeah. My friend, right after Christmas was throwing a Boxing Day party.
Okay.
And I showed up early because I couldn't stay very long. And she had a whole platter of bite-size sausage rolls, like the puff pastry with like sausage in there. I fucking ate the entire platter.
Did she
like
make
just
them?
sitting there? Yes, she made them. I don't know if she made the dough herself, but she put them together.
It's better than buying,
Yeah, and they were little bite-sized ones, and she had like mustard out. She had that cream cheese with the pepper jelly on top, and I was dipping them in there. And before people even showed up, she had to cook up another platter because I ate them all.
I had, when I was in England a year or two ago, year and a half, 2 years ago, I don't know. We went to like a pub and they had homemade sausage rolls. They were so fucking good. Like, and then I had the worst. Roll. Then I had the worst sausage rolls from like their version of 7-Eleven, which is called Greg's. And it's fucking inedible. It was so bad.
It's not like the Japanese 7-Eleven where there's good food in there.
No, Greg's is good for some things, not their sausage rolls.
Mm-hmm. Have you had the sausage rolls at Corner Pantry in Mount Washington?
I have not. I've never been there.
It's really nice in there, and it's like Britishy food. Sometimes they'll go like a little Asian, but it's also a cafe, so they have coffee. They're open in the morning. They have breakfast. They do a full English, but it's not quite full. So it's missing some elements.
Sure.
But they're in like really good pastries, gluten-free pastries. They're right across the street from the entrance to Lake Roland. So you can go there, get treats, and then go on your little walk. But their sausage rolls are, my God, like heavenly. Puff pastry from scratch, and the sausage like mix, they obviously make it themselves, and it's like seasoned perfectly, and it's probably like 2,000 calories for one sausage roll, but I don't care.
Have you ever had to make puff pastry and or croissants from the puff pastry?
No, I'm not a baker. Never have been. Yep.
It's really fucking, like, you get a really, like, you do it once and you get the best appreciation for anyone who makes croissants at a bakery.
Yeah.
Because you understand why a lot of it is made by robots, because it's so time consuming and it's so hard to do.
Yeah, and you have to be fast because temperature of the butter matters and all of that.
And then there's like cheater's puff and that you can do and stuff, but that's a pain in, that's its own set of rules, and then you get an inferior quality product. But the one thing is, biscuits are like America's puff pastry, right? Because biscuits work because of layers.
Yes.
You do the butter. Yeah. And that's what basically like a cheater's puff pastry is you kind of blitz it, fold it, cool it down, fold it. Because like normally it's you make the dough, you take the butter, you smear it on, you fold it, you put it back in the fridge, let it cool down, smash it out, fold it, and do that. And you make hundreds and hundreds of layers, and that's when it does that. That's why it gets so puffy.
Yeah.
But like, I highly recommend everybody make it once.
Yeah.
Because it actually is easy. It's just a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it's time consuming. I feel like people who enjoy doing that, the whole process is enjoyable. But for me, I know I'm not going to enjoy that, so I'm not going to bother with it, especially when I know where to get a really good croissant. So I'm going to go there and just eat it and enjoy it without all the work.
I just like I haven't made puff pastry in years. The one thing I'll never make ever again, I can guarantee you, we made phyllo dough once, and that was
from scratch?
From scratch.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Where you're stretching it over the table and shit. Once is enough. I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's amazing, and the elasticity and all that shit is really cool. But it was like Like, you want to talk about watching someone on the precipice of a building? You're like,
Oh
oh
God,
my
yeah.
God, it's going to tear. Oh my God, it's going to tear. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And it never does, but you're like, fuck this shit. And it starts
Yeah.
drying out immediately. Like, nah, son, I'm
Mm-hmm.
good.
Yeah, you literally have to push it to the edge of stretching it out
Yeah.
so thin that it's just about to tear.
Well, you know when it's good when you can see your hand through it.
Yeah,
Which
yeah,
is insane.
yeah. Gluten.
Yeah. But like, okay, croissants actually are a really good, Valentine's food. It's croissants or puff pastry in general is like a weirdly sexy food because it's so light and it's airy and it's got
and
textures.
it's a treat.
Yeah, and it's a treat because it is really decadent.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of stuff that you can do, like if you don't want to do pigs in a blanket, which is what derailed us. Like, okay, what would you cook for a Valentine's Day dinner that, just off the top of your head that you would think is like special?
Special.
Or fun.
Well, if we were gonna go like the Western route, I would do something decadent. I would do like seafood, like a lobster, linguine with cream sauce, or like braised beef cheeks with a demi-glace that's like sticky and, pureed parsnips or celery root, and just something really decadent and maybe time consuming, like that you have to braise overnight and you have to prepare and it's planned out and you have to go out and find that ingredient that you can only get at one or two places. And it's like something that takes a little more effort than
putting love into it.
Yeah, than like an everyday weeknight dinner. Just something a little bit more special. And like if you want to go a different route, like even making a curry that's not a quick curry, and like you have to pound out, all your aromatics and toast your seeds. Even if it's a dish that you make on a regular basis, that's a shortcut that has like the shortcut. Say you're making like an Indian type curry. Like, on a weeknight, you can kind of pull it together, especially if you're using just straight up already ground spices and kind of doing a cheap mode version of it. If it's Valentine's Day and you want to make a special meal for your partner, like how about go get fresh whole spices and toast them up and grind them fresh and like, get a nicer cut of meat and just put a little more effort into it and make it a little more special. I feel like that's what I would do.
Make your own pasta.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
or make the pasta together.
No, that was my next thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's an easy thing to do as a couple, because you can make the volcano, whisk it up, and then split it into two, and both of you get a ball of dough to ruin.
And just as backup, keep a thing of dried pasta as backup. Because even if you fuck it up, it doesn't take long to boil it up with some regular pasta. Yeah. So you have something to eat. But and who knows? You fuck up your dinner, order pizza, and it's
absolutely
it was an adventure. It doesn't matter.
You still have a story.
Yeah.
And to be honest, the worst thing you're gonna do to pasta is you're just gonna make it too thick. And it's still pasta, so who gives a shit?
Yeah. Yeah. It's all about the sauce anyway, isn't it? No, that's not true. But sauce can fix lots of things. I mean, a good al dente pasta, oof. When a pasta's so good, all you need is like butter.
I'd rather have fresh
and a little
pasta.
like pinch of garlic. It depends. Like,
it does depend.
I feel like spaghetti doesn't need to be fresh because dried pasta has a different kind of al dente than fresh pasta does. So I feel like both have its like
without
matching applications. Yeah. But like a good homemade pappardelle, like fuck yeah.
And pappardelle is super easy to make. You don't have to be exact. It's just wide noodles. Just roll it out thin, cut it into strips.
Cut it by hand. Yeah. No measuring.
Nope.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've solved Valentine's Day for everybody. What would I make?
Yeah.
Fuck that shit. I'm not making nothing. No, I'm with you. Like, it would be something fancy ish. You know what I mean? Like you said, something braised or something that takes a long time, like a bouillabaisse, where like, you know, with the toast,
all the elements,
with the toast with the rouille on top. You know, for those who don't know, a rouille is like it's
kind of like aioli.
It's a garlic aioli that you blend in roasted red peppers into it. And you put that on toast, and then you dip that into bouillabaisse, which is a seafood soup that has, you know, like a lot of saffron in it. Like saffron's like a sexy kind of it's not I guess it's an herb. It's the stamen of a flower. Pistil?
Yeah, is that herb or spice? I feel like since it's dried, it's a spice.
I guess it would be a spice, yeah. But
one of the most expensive spices in the world.
It's the most expensive thing in the world by weight. Like it's more expensive than gold. I know that by weight.
Yeah, because it has to be hand harvested.
Yeah,
like
people
there's
take
someone
tweezers,
picking out each little piston out of. Is it a piston? Pistil?
Stamen?
Pistil,
stamen. One or the other.
Stem. Yep. Yes.
The
little orangey
the dilly
red
bobbers
things.
that come out of flowers.
The dilly bobbers. Very technical. That's the Latin term.
Exactly. It's the scientific name for whatever they are. But something like that, or you know, like a whole fish in a salt crust.
Ooh.
Something dramatic, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Where you're really
and and the difference between that, doing something special, because you do something special for a lot of things, for New Year's, for Christmas, for Thanksgiving, and all those things. But like, how often do you get to do something special just for like two people?
Right.
You know, because like there's a lot of things that you can't do for a big group of people. It just doesn't work. It's too much. But they're like a whole fish, I feel like is perfect for just two people.
Right. And then the one thing I would buy would be dessert.
Yeah. Or unless you're like hardcore dessert people or bakers, and then maybe they like want to do whatever with the entree and then go super over the top with the dessert. That's
true. I would, okay, so for dessert, I'd do like pâtes de crème, or, you know, I mean, creme brulee, people like, it's so overdone. But man, if you get a good fucking creme brulee, it's so fucking good.
Yeah, it's classic. If a menu has creme brulee on it, I almost always order it.
During Christmas time, I was at a restaurant and had gingerbread creme brulee. And it was mind-blowingly good. It was real subtle, but it was so fucking good. Like, the spices weren't too much. It didn't taste like gingerbread. It tasted like, you know, that, but like really subtle gingerbread.
Yum.
Yeah, it was really good.
I like all the fancy. Oh, when I was in California once, I had sweet corn creme brulee.
Ooh.
It was amazing. That was literally like 30 years ago, and I still remember it.
Yeah,
and
crazy shit, right?
Talk about it. Yeah. Creme brulee was the first dessert that I learned how to make, because I never was a baker. Like, even when I was younger, like, I never wanted to bake because measuring is dumb.
We gotta have a baking night where we just bake shit.
Yeah. Lila did actually one Valentine's. We were cooking together, and she made what is it called? It's not a custard. It has gelatin in it, but it's usually like has dairy in it. It's like the Italian version. No, not flan. What's another one? It's Italian, right? I'll think of it in a second. But it's like a creme brulee, but without the sugar on top. But she did a pistachio one with like a sour cherry compote on top.
That sounds good.
And it was absolutely amazing. And because she ground up the pistachios and soaked it in milk, and then she strained it out. And from all those, that pistachio crumble milk mixture. She made little shortbread cookies with it. And it was fucking amazing.
A panna cotta.
Panna cotta. Exactly. Yes, a panna cotta.
My brain was, it was like paralyzing me.
Itching your brain. Like, For some reason, I was like, does it start with a V? Not even close.
Flan's a Spanish version, but it's not.
Yeah.
Flan's like an inverted,
there's caramel on the bottom.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you flip it.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I love any custard.
Yeah. No, exactly. Yeah. All right. Well, there was one more thing just to get it out of my brain. It's a really fun, easy dessert that's like kind of like, you could just do this at the end of a dessert. I mean, at the end of a dinner is crepes.
Oh yeah, it's fancy.
Feel kind of special because you're like, well, we don't make crepes all the time, but it's like it's just fucking pancakes, But
you make one at a time,
right? Yeah. But it's all about the fillings, right? So you get some Nutella, the chocolate, you get some strawberries or strawberry preserves, and bananas or whatever you want, and some passion fruit, which I actually don't like a lot of. I don't like passion fruit.
No, I'm not a passion fruit person.
It looks like dog poop to me. It's really weird color.
Yeah.
Tastes okay, but it's kind of throws me off texture-wise.
Yeah. I'm also a big fan of chocolates. Like going and get like really nice truffles that are decorated beautifully.
You are reading my mind.
Yeah.
Because we're going to talk about that.
Because that's not like an everyday thing, right? So it feels special.
Yeah, it's not an everyday thing for me, even though I did just eat a big piece of chocolate bark before I came downstairs.
That's not necessarily like the truffles in the box type.
No,
thing.
It's not. But there's a place in Savage Mill that has this bark that I'm addicted to, and it's really thick. It's like, dude, it's almost
so it's literally a chocolate bar.
Yeah, bark.
Bark. Yeah,
like roof, roof. It's like almost 3/4 of an inch thick, but it's dark chocolate, walnuts, and orange peel.
Oh, I love chocolate and orange.
Good. Yeah,
that's my favorite combo.
Yeah, dark chocolate and orange is so good. But like, okay, so there's Rebs, which my mother always gives us a box of Rebs for Valentine's Day, which I love. Like Crosby's obsessed with their truffles, like I was when I was a kid. And then at some point he'll be like, he'll turn into me and be a snob about chocolate and be like, I don't eat milk chocolate. Thank you very much. That's not true. Because I still eat those truffles like, holy shit, that's so good. You've had their chocolate before, right? Rebs?
Yeah, I think you gifted me a box, didn't you? Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
And me and Lila sat and took a bite out of every single one. Oh, that's right. You guys
fucking monsters. Fucking Jesus Christ.
You gotta taste them all. It's just the two of us.
They're not Pokemon. Oh God, are somebody doing that to Pokemon? That's so weird. All right, well, let's go through a real quick timeline of Valentine's Day. So
sounds good.
The church recognizes at least 3 different saints named Valentine or Valentinus, all of who were martyred. This is basically what I'm covering right now is kind of just like the origin of Valentine's Day as we know it right now. One legend contends that Valentine was a priest who served during the 3rd century in Rome, when Emperor Claudius II decided that single men made better soldiers than those with wives and families. He outlawed marriages for young men. Valentine, realizing the injustices of the decree, defied Claudius and continued to perform marriages for young lovers in secret. When Valentine's actions were discovered, Claudius ordered that he be put to death. All these stories are probably not real, by the way, but they're kind of like folklore things.
It's a nice story.
Yeah, it's a nice story, and a lot of it's sort of carried through the ages and then retroactively made into a thing. So Claudius II killed that guy. Still others insist that it was Saint Valentine of Terni, a bishop, who was the true namesake of the holiday. But weirdly enough, he too killed by Claudius II outside of Rome when he was beheaded. Other
Man,
stories,
Claudius hated love.
dude, he loved people named Valentine. Other stories suggest that Valentine may have been killed for attempting to help Christians escape harsh Roman prisons, where they were often beaten and tortured. According to one legend, an imprisoned Valentine actually sent the first Valentine greeting after he himself fell in love with a young girl who was possibly his jailer's daughter, who came to visit him during his confinement. Before his death, it's alleged that he wrote her a letter signed "From Your Valentine," an expression that is still used today. Although the truth behind Valentine's legend is very murky, the stories emphasize his appeal as heroic and, most importantly, a romantic figure, which people held on to. And so basically, Saint Valentine, who is an actual saint, is sort of an amalgamation of a couple people. By the Middle Ages, perhaps thanks to this reputation, Valentine would become one of the most popular saints in England and France. So while some people believe that Valentine's Day is celebrated in the middle of February to commemorate the anniversary of Valentine's death or burial, which was probably somewhere around ADE 270, others claim that the Christian Church may have decided to place St. Valentine's feast day in the middle of February in an effort to Christianize the pagan celebration of Lupercalia, celebrated at the Ides of February or February 15th. Lupercalia was a fertility festival dedicated to Faunus, the Roman god of agriculture, as well as to the Roman founders Romulus and Remus, who, if you don't remember, were born from a wolf and suckled a wolf. Rome is named after Romulus.
All the statues.
Yeah, and Remus
of those
is like a wolf person, and Remus Lupin from the Harry Potter series is named after him.
Cool.
But Lupercalia also has to do with I think wolves, and Faunus is a faun. He's like the guy from The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. To begin the festival, so this is where this fuck gets weird. We're going pagan. To begin the festival, members of the Luperci, an order of Roman priests, would gather at a sacred cave where the infants Romulus and Remus, the founders of Rome, were believed to have cared for the she-wolf, have been cared for by the she-wolf or Lupa. The priests would sacrifice a goat for fertility, a dog for purification, and then they would then strip the goat's hide into strips, dip them into the sacrificial blood, and then take to the streets, gently slapping both women and crop fields with the goat hide. Women would line up to be smacked with these things. Yeah, it's a fertility thing.
Oh my god, we should bring that back, except people with for killing the goats and the dog.
Goat hides dipped in blood. Hell yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, if you would show...
That's so metal.
Super metal, dude. Like fucking... Like, it's like the end of a Metalocalypse episode.
Yeah.
Far from being fearful, Roman women welcomed the touch of the hides because it was believed to make them more fertile in the coming year. Later in the day, according to legend, all the young women in the city would place their names in a big urn. The city's bachelors would each choose a name and become paired for the year with his chosen woman. These matches often ended in marriage. I'm sure they're probably like leaving out some giant weird blood orgy that happened at the end of the night too. You know what I mean?
Cool.
Yeah. I mean, hey, fucking do it. It's fine. You only lived till you were like fucking 30 back then anyway.
Yeah. Live your life.
Yeah. Lupercalia survived the initial rise of Christianity, but was outlawed as it was deemed unchristian. Boo. By the end of the 5th century, when Pope Gelasius, I think Gelasius means dickhead, declared February 14th St. Valentine's Day. No, Gelasius, I'm sorry. Gelasius means party pooper or square.
Yeah.
Valentine's Day. It was not until much later, however, that the day became definitely associated with love. During the Middle Ages, it was common belief in France and England that February 14th was the beginning of birds' mating season, which added to the idea that the middle of Valentine's Day should be a day for romance. The English poet Geoffrey Chaucer was the first to record St. Valentine's Day as a day of romantic celebration in his 1375 poem, Parliament of Fools, writing, quote, "For this was sent on St. Valentine's Day, when every foe cometh there to choose his mate." It's all written in Old English and it's really hard to read. It's like a fucking, yeah. Saint was spelled Seynt, by the way.
Oh my God.
Valentine's greetings were popular back as far as the Middle Ages, though written Valentines didn't begin to appear until after 1400 because nobody knew how to write. The oldest known Valentine still in existence today was a poem written in 1415 by Charles, Duke of Orleans, to his wife while he was imprisoned in the Tower of London, following his capture at the Battle of Agincourt. The greeting is now part of the manuscript collection of the British Library in London, England. Several years later, it's believed that Henry V hired a writer named John Lydgate to compose a Valentine note to Kathleen of Valois. So that shit's been going on in a while. And then you have Cupid, who was associated with Valentine's Day, who, he's on a lot of the actual cards and, all that shit.
Mm-hmm. Is Cupid is he supposed to be an angel?
We're going to get into it.
Okay.
So he's portrayed on Valentine's Day cards as a naked cherub launching arrows of love at unsuspecting lovers. But the Roman god Cupid has his root in Greek mythology as the Greek god of love, Eros. According to his accounts of his birth vary. Some say he's the son of Nyx and Erebus, others of Aphrodite and Ares. Still others suggest that he's the son of Iris and Zephyrus, or Aphrodite and Zeus, who would have been both his father and grandfather, because, fucking Greek myths are terrible. Or great, depending on how you look at it. It's really complex and weird. I love that nobody actually is sure who his parents are, because so many people...
They're like, they just go with it.
Yeah, they're like, oh, there are all these different, versions of his life, so fuck it, let's just put it all in.
Mm-hmm.
So according to Greek archaic poets, Eros was a handsome immortal who played with the emotions of gods and men, using golden arrows to incite love and leaden ones to sow aversion. It wasn't until the Hellenistic period that he began to be portrayed as a mischievous, chubby child. He'd become on Valentine's Day cards. So basically, what he really is Eros, who's just a fucking handsome fucking dude that's probably rock hard, out of a perfume commercial, shooting motherfuckers with arrows to make them either hate each other or love each other. And then people made him like a little chubby baby who just had wings.
Why?
And then speaking of Valentine's cards and shit, so in addition to the United States, Valentine's Day is celebrated in Canada, Mexico, the United Kingdom, France, and Australia. In Great Britain, Valentine's Day began to be began celebrated popularly around the 17th century. By the 18th, it was common for friends and lovers of all social classes to exchange small tokens of affection or handwritten notes. By the 1900s, printed cards began to replace handwritten letters due to improvements in printing technology. Ready-made cards were an easy way for people to express their emotions in a time when direct expression of one's feelings was discouraged. No, don't tell people how you actually feel. Just give them this thing. Cheaper postage rates also contributed to an increase in the popularity of sending Valentine's Day greetings. I love that. They're like, oh, also it was cheap. So people were like, yeah, fuck it. I'll send them a fucking.
Yeah. I didn't realize it started so early.
What do you mean?
I thought it was like a modern Valentine's
no, that's the thing.
Day
Everybody's
in general.
like, oh, it's a Hallmark.
I thought it was a modern thing.
So many people are like, man, You don't even know, man. It's like it's like messed your mind, man. It's like
It's the card companies.
card
They're all
companies,
trying
man.
to control us.
No, the card companies became popular because people did it and they saw a way to make money. That's what it like.
Yeah.
Valentine's Day made Hallmark. Americans probably began exchanging handmade Valentines in the early 1700s. In the 1840s, Esther A. Howland began selling the first mass-produced Valentines in America. Howland, known as quote-unquote the mother of the Valentine, made elaborate creations with real lace ribbons and colorful pictures known as scrap. Today, according to Hallmark, an estimated 145 million Valentine's Day cards are sent each year, making Valentine's Day the second largest card-sending holiday of the year, more than Christmas. So
after Christmas, yeah.
Have you ever seen any of the old-timey Valentines?
No, I'm gonna have to look it up.
Yeah, they're really cool. I've seen them up close in some museums and shit. They're really gorgeous, like all handmade,
like pieces of art.
Lace is great, it's insane. And then we get to the best part, which is the chocolate. So it turns out that chocolate really has a history as a love food. Passion for chocolate is rooted in Mesoamerican history. It was a highly prized luxury item among Mayans and Aztec upper-class elites who were known to savor a drink that combined roasted cacao beans with cornmeal, vanilla, honey, and chilies. That sounds fucking awesome. Cacao beans were as valuable a commodity as gold and were even used to pay taxes levied by the Aztec rulers. By the early 1600s, the vogue for chocolate had swept across Europe. In London, chocolate houses began to rival coffee houses as social gathering spots. One shop opened on Gracechurch Street in 1657, advertising chocolate as a, quote, a West Indian drink which cures and preserves the body of many diseases, unquote. Oof. Yeah, they really knew their stuff, huh? Killing people. Somebody's like, yeah, I got cancer. If I drink this, it'd be fine, right? They're like, yeah, sure. Give me your money.
Why not? Here's a little cocaine in a bottle, too.
Exactly. That was the good stuff. Put some cocaine in my chocolate. You got your chocolate in my cocaine. You got your cocaine in my chocolate. Great candy bar was made. In France, Madame de Sévigné wrote about enormous chocolate consumption throughout the court of Versailles in 1671. Louis IV drank it daily, and Madame du Barry was said to use chocolate mixed with amber to stimulate her lovers. Ugh.
Oh.
I'm gonna make this. I gotta say like, it, right?
Lube?
I don't. Well, it looks like amber was the color of their energy. I don't know.
I don't know.
Damn it!
You should look more into that.
Chocolate mixed with amber. So I guess they took the amber and ground it up and then mixed it into the chocolate.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Mm-hmm.
When Marie Antoinette married Louis XIV in 1770, she brought her personal chocolate maker to Versailles. The official chocolate maker to the queen created such recipes as chocolate mixed with orchid bulb for strength, chocolate and orange blossom to calm the nerves, or chocolate with sweet almond milk to aid the digestion. Chocolate's connection to Valentine's Day is a prime example of virtue finding its just reward. Although it took centuries for the two essential elements, the rise of chocolate as popular food and the celebration of Valentine's Day as a holiday, to merge. The origin of Valentine's Day we talked about. And then let me see what I lost my spot. So
chocolate.
Okay, we're gonna yada through some of this stuff. So in the following centuries, Valentine's Day blossomed into an increasingly popular late winter, early spring holiday. Songs, poetry, and roses celebrated hearts brimming with love. Though candy was not yet involved because sugar was still precious. By the time Victoria became queen in 1837, technology was poised to transform Valentine's Day into a commercial bonanza. Victorians loved showing their significant others with Cupid-bedecked gifts and cards. But Valentine's Day was about to get a lot happier because one man, Richard Cadbury, whose British family manufactured chocolate, was searching for a way to use pure cocoa butter that was extracted from the process Cadbury had invented to make a more palatable drinking chocolate. So they were making the powder, but the byproduct was all this cocoa butter. He's sitting around going, what am I going to do with all this cocoa butter? So his solution was quote unquote eating chocolates, which he began packaging in lovely boxes he designed himself. A marketing genius, Cadbury began putting the Cupids and Rosebuds on heart-shaped boxes in 1861. Even when the chocolates had been eating, people could use those beautiful boxes to save mementos or love letters from their lovers.
Oh, wow.
So that's where that came from. The commercialization of Valentine's Day flourished in America at the turn of the century. Chocolate pioneer Milton Hershey started as a caramel maker, but in 1894 began covering his caramels with sweet chocolate. In 1907, Hershey launched a production of teardrop-shaped kisses, so called because of the smooching noise the chocolate made as it was manufactured. Mass-produced at an affordable cost, the kisses were advertised as a most nourishing food. Stupid. But I never knew that they were called kisses because of that. That's really funny.
Yeah, splooting out of the machine, I guess.
It's better than Hershey splooges, whatever.
I don't know. I would prefer that.
God damn it, Hershey. Stop being cowards. So when it comes to commercial chocolate, no one has outdone Russell Stover. The company began, by the way, out of Stover, Hershey, and Cadbury, without a doubt, the worst of all the chocolates. Don't you think? Have you ever had Russell Stover's chocolates?
I don't think I have.
Those really shitty, cheap chocolate Hershey, like the heart-shaped boxes and shit? Or you can buy one of those gold boxes. I don't think I have,
no. Yeah. Maybe when I was young. I don't know. That's one thing I don't like, shitty chocolate. It's gross.
Russell Stover's is the worst. Yeah. I mean, now it is. I don't know what it was like back then. So the company began when Clara Stover began wrapping quote unquote bungalow candies in her Denver kitchen in 1923. I don't know what bungalow candies means. That's weird.
I was going to ask, what the fuck is that?
Some sort of sex thing, I'm sure. She and her husband moved to Kansas City and opened several factories, selling their Valentine's chocolates in heart-shaped boxes because Mr. Cadbury did not patent heart-shaped boxes.
The idea?
So it became a big thing. They started selling heart-shaped boxes to department stores across the Midwest. Eventually, Russell Stover bought out Whitman's, their biggest competitor, and refocused their wholesale business on drugstores and big box retailers like Walmart and Target. One of their biggest sellers is the Secret Lace Heart, a chocolate box covered in satin and black lace. The so-called lingerie box is affordable and easily accessible, stocked on store shelves, easy to grab and go to take just to your love. The strategy works today. With 3,000 employees and $600 million in annual sales, Russell Stover is the number one box chocolate company in the U.S. They sell cheap shit, and a lot of people don't have money, so people buy that. That's really what it comes down to. Or they have money and they just are like, oh, this is already in a, box. It's already got the heart-shaped box. It says, I love you, that kind of thing. So there you go.
Yeah. I mean, any thought counts, I guess, or is nice if someone's thinking of you.
A lot of times people
but I feel like
they don't give a shit because it's candy, right?
Yeah. But I feel like if you really want to do something special, I feel like it is more special to go to like your local confectioner. Like a lot of people, or maybe not even chocolates, like macaroons or whatever. But like even, get all the cost of an entire box of chocolates that are pretty cheap. You can get 4 absolutely beautiful pieces of art, truffles from a local confectionery or bakery or whatever. And I feel like that's still more special.
I
It's
agree.
like quality over quantity.
Yeah, you don't need 30 shitty chocolates when you can have 6 amazing chocolates. Or 4, yeah.
Like eye-rollingly delicious chocolates. It's so much better. Yeah. I feel like here in Baltimore we have so many options for good chocolates. Yeah.
But I also think that's a recent thing. And I think back in probably, let's say 1955 to 1995, that was probably a pretty hard thing to do in the Midwest or any place that wasn't a major metropolitan city. I don't think there were a lot of chocolatiers hanging out. You know what I'm saying? There was probably go to the mall to the Walk and Fuss. Or just to your Walmart and get a Russell Stover's box.
Yeah. I feel like back then, most of chocolates like that were mass produced.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. And it's all that Russell Stover shit. I mean, they're a huge name. Like, they're everywhere. Like, if I go down to Rite Aid right now, Russell Stover's is probably 75% of the specifically made for Valentine's Day chocolates. Because they got all the weird fillings and it's all gross and,
The only time of shitty mass-produced themed chocolate that I like,
Easter,
and it might be from childhood.
Yep.
Yes, the hollow Easter chocolate Easter bunny was like my go-to that I got most excited about. And it was like shitty milk chocolate, but for some reason it was good.
I think the flavors work better. So you get like the malted eggs or the peanut eggs or the hollow bunny.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. We'll talk about that in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
But until then, there's Valentine's Day.
Nice.
And I hope you have a great Valentine's Day.
You too. We're going to do absolutely nothing.
Know what we're going to do. I want to do something. I just don't know what. So, we'll probably, I don't know if me and Leanne are going to, we haven't talked about it. Sometimes we go out, just us. Sometimes we get the boy into it and we just have a family Valentine's Day dinner, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's nice.
Because he's still young. So, soon enough, he's going to have his own Valentine's with a girl or a boy.
Oh, my, no.
Oh, God. Ugh.
No, he should stay a baby forever.
Not going to happen.
Yeah.
He's already got a dirt stash.
Oh, God. I haven't seen him in so long. Don't tell me that.
Dirt stash. It's all fuzzy.
He's probably taller. No, he was taller than me, I feel like, last time I saw him.
He's almost as tall as Leanna. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he's
all right, it has been too long.
Yeah. So, all right, well, happy Valentine's Day to everyone out there, and thank you so much for listening to the Rude Cooking School podcast. I really appreciate you listening. I would appreciate if you hit that like button or rated and reviewed us on Apple Podcasts, or followed us on Spotify or wherever you get your podcast from. It actually does make a big difference. And I do see the numbers go up when people subscribe. It makes a big difference because it shows that people are interested, and it gets more ears on our podcast. And ultimately, that's what we want. We want people to enjoy it and talk to their friends about it and share it and have a good time. We don't pay for advertising, and word of mouth is the way we get it out. Also, the best way to really experience it without, just listening to the podcast is to follow us on our Facebook page. There's a lot going on over there. Everybody's super cool. People share their dinners. People share their recipes. People share stupid food memes. I do a lot of that myself. It's actually a really nice place to go and hang out, and a website that's kind of garbage. So I will see you next week. It will be the day after Valentine's Day. So I'll probably do a little catch up and then we'll get into food news. So until next week, I'm John Hauser III. Don't yuck my yum.
And I'm Jenny Beck. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Rude Cooking School food podcast, motherfuckers. Bye. I fucked that all up. Wow. I was good until the end there, Jenny. Peace, everybody. I felt good until the end. I was like,